Welcome to the meeting number 428. If you are looking for a friendly, supportive, and positive environment where people encourages you, lifts you up, and enhances your skills, my dear friends, you must look for Toastmasters Club. The club has already served and is serving a large number of people to achieve their professional goals and personal goals. People join Toastmasters Club for numerous reasons. Some for enhancing their personality, some for networking, and some to discover their own potential. Now, let me share with you all the president of the mission of our club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, which results in greater self confidence and personal growth. Fathers, the rock solid personality from outside, but a very soft heart from inside. He'll never let a show how much he loves, but no one can love more than him. That's our father. Now, coming towards inviting the president of our club. She is full of integrity and has commendable communication skills. She is good in strategic planning and always shows a positive attitude. She is confident and optimistic. Please help me welcome. Please help me to welcome the president of our club, Toastmaster Shivangi Mittal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kashish, for that great introduction. Well, before we move ahead, I would request everyone, let's close our eyes and pray for world peace for 30 seconds. Right. Thank you, everyone. Well, today I want to share a story called The One-Armed Judo Champion. There was a young boy, Ralph, who was born without a left arm. In order to help with his confidence, his mother admitted him to some judo lessons. He began taking these lessons from a Japanese sensei. Every week, the sensei taught the boy one single technique over and over again. He would see others doing different kinds of techniques and he asked why he wasn't doing that. Just focus on that one throw. This is all you need to know, said the sensei. The boy couldn't quite understand what the sensei was saying, but he continued. Several months later, the master entered the boy into a national judo championship. Ralph was terrified. The first match began, and the one-armed boy easily flipped his opponent to the ground, an instant win. The second round was also the same. And in this way, Ralph very easily found himself in the tournament finals. But this time it wasn't as easy, as he was facing someone who had been a champion for 3 times straight. Concerned, the tournament organizers offered the boy an option to withdraw. No, we will fight, said the sensei. And as the match began, the entire crowd was on the edge of their seats. The opponent grabbed Ralph. For a second, it looked as if it was all over. But the second the opponent dropped his guard and made a mistake, Ralph quickly took advantage and used the very same technique to win the match. He could not believe it. He was now the national judo champion. On his way back home, Ralph asked the sensei how he could manage to win. You won because you mastered the most devastating technique in judo. And the only known way to defend that is to grab the left arm. Well, that is how what appeared to be a weakness was in fact Ralph's greatest strength. Why? because he simply refused to give up. I found this story the best fit to be shared today because the Toastmasters contest season is around the corner with speech evaluation contest, table topics contest. So I hope this inspires you all to actively focus on the role you aim to master to make yourselves and even your club proud as you shine bright. Well, on that inspiring note, I would like to welcome our fellow Toastmaster, Victoria, who is present with us here today. She has joined us at 6:45 a.m. I would like to thank her for her dedication. Ma'am, would you like to share your thoughts?
Thank you so much, Madam President. What an honor to be here. Mr. Deepak Menon came to my club that we were chartering, Masters of Evaluation, at 10 p.m. your time on a Friday night. How could I not reciprocate? And Deepak, we had 89 people at that Toastmaster meeting. It was not a deck meeting. It was not a district meeting. It was a Toastmaster meeting, and they came to hear you. We also had Verity Price, the winner, deliver a 3-minute message about the power of evaluations. And we have chartered. So I am here not only in thanks, but to find out what is the secret sauce this man has that brings Toastmasters in worldwide. Madam President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Victoria, for sharing that. Next, can I invite guests who are joining us today, or as we like to call them, the future CDTMers. So let's start with guest Mayuri. Would you like to go first? Share with us how you got to know about the club, why you want to join Toastmasters, any of your thoughts.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Mayuri, and I have been really interested in Toastmasters, and I just got to know from a friend about it, and would love to improve my communication skills through it. That's something that I'm looking for. So hopefully I'll get to see some of it today. What do you guys do? Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Mayuri. Next, can I invite other guests? Guest Simran Bansal, would you like to tell us about yourself? Please switch on your camera and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Simran, and I got to know about Toastmasters from my friend.
Hi, Simran. Can we request you to turn on your camera if you're comfortable?
Sorry, there's a network error, so I can't.
Okay, all right. No worries. So I see other guests who are joining us as the meeting progresses. Well, we will continue our conversation towards the guest briefing. I would request all the guests who are present with us today to stay till the end of the meeting, understand how Toastmasters meetings work, and at the end, you could share your experiences. And not just that, today we also have our distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon to conduct the table topic session for you. It's an impromptu speaking segment where you will get a topic and you can speak to practice your impromptu speaking. So watch out for that segment. And now it's time to invite the host for today's meeting. So help me welcome Toastmaster Zubair Qureshi with his theme, My Superhero Dad. My Superhero Dad. Toastmaster Zubair Qureshi.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Last week, my dad was fixing up an electric board, and I usually see him fixing these electrical equipments. So I asked him, Dad, why didn't you become an engineer? Like, why did you went to go pursue a post-graduation in some irrelevant course and later on became an entrepreneur? He explained me that in his childhood, he never had the financial situation to pursue such an expensive course, and later in life, he was more dedicated towards the family. First superpower, sacrifice. I went straight to my dad, held his hand, looked into his eyes, and said, "Thank you, Dad. Dad, you gave me the theme for next meeting, and I am the TMOD for this meeting. I have collected superpowers of many superheroes that I would be unveiling during the meeting. Many of the time, the dad word would be switched with the word superhero as in any general Toastmaster meeting, we have three segments. First segment is the prepared speech segment. Today, we have three speakers with their prepared speeches. Next segment is the table topic segment. Here, the guest could also participate. And the third, general evaluation segment. In this segment, everything will be evaluated and there will be some recommendation and a lot of commendations. Now, I would like to call the team of auxiliary role players. First is the timer TM Samkit Jain. He just completed his undergraduation and is passionate about sports. When I asked him about the superpowers of his superhero, he told me that his dad have calmness in all situations. TM Samkit, the stage is all yours.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some just express and live with us daily. That one person who may not express like others, but loves us unconditionally, is a father. If I become even 10% of what my father is, I'll think I've achieved a lot in my life. My dad, who is very particular about time, is a perfect example for us. We in Toastmasters meeting should be following the time allotted to us. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am Samkit Jain and I am going to play the role of timer today. As a timer, my role is to keep a track of time taken by all the speakers and to indicate the respected time by showing the color cards. I will be sharing my screen for showing the color cards. Time allotted for the speakers and the evaluators is as follows. For the icebreaker speech, 4 to 6 minutes. Green card will be shown at 4 minutes, yellow card at 5 minutes, and red card at 6 minutes. And for the other prepared speakers, 5 to 7 minutes. Green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, 7 minutes. For the table topic speakers, 1 to 2 minutes. Green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5, and red card at 2 minutes. And for the speech evaluators, 2 to 3 minutes. Green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5, and red card at 3 minutes. Buffer time of 30 seconds is available on the upper and lower side for all the speakers except the table topic speakers, where buffer time of 30 seconds is available only on the upper side. I will present my report at the evaluation segment only. Thank you. That's all from my side. Back to Toastmaster of the day.
Really good introduction. Next up is the listener TM Kashish Jain. He is a DU Soul student pursuing BA program. He loves to play cricket and his future goal is to get selected in a 8th grade officer post. When I asked him the ability of his superhero, he told me that his dad is really supportive and means everything to him. TM Kashish, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Zubair, for calling me up on the stage. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I, Kashish Jain, will be playing the role of listener in today's meeting. From the childhood till now, you may have listened to a lot of people, but there must be one person from which you are very influenced. For me, it's my father. From the childhood till now, he is my teacher, supporter, believer, and so what I can say. As a listener, I will be framing some questions from the content of the speakers in the meeting. Listening skills is a complete package of good communication skills. So I will request each and everyone to hear and listen each and every word out here very concentratedly, as you may not know which thing is very crucial in our upcoming life, which situation can come up, and this session. Here, Toastmasters can make you learn more. So I will be framing some questions, and the questions that I will frame, I'll ask in the evaluation session. So please be very attentive and try to answer each and every question accurately. So let's meet in the evaluation session. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Kashish. Next up is the language evaluator TM Madhur Chabra. He is a Pol Science student from Sri Venkateshwar College and a member of Road Toastmaster Club. When I asked him the ability of his superhero, he told me his father is very respectful to everyone, especially his mom, and he is quite caring and sweet. The stage is all yours, Madhur.
Thank you so much, team out of the day. A very good evening to each and everyone present here. I am Madhur Chhapa and I will be playing the role of a language evaluator today. So the word of the day is prodigious. We can define it as something very powerful and surprising. The synonyms are enormous, huge, colossal, immense, vast, etc. And the word can be used in the following manner. She wrote a truly prodigious number of novels. What a prodigious opportunity you have missed. It cost a prodigious amount. Let's try to actively use this word as much as we can in today's meeting and improve our vocabulary along the way. Apart from this, we would be also doing one important thing. I would be checking the correct usage of grammar. I would be noting the correct usage as well as the not so very good usage of the vocabulary. And in the evaluation section, I would be there with my report. Also, I would love to tell every one of you to kindly use the word of the day as it improves their vocabulary. Thank you so much. Over to you, team out of the day.
Thank you, TM Madhur. Next up is the parliamentarian of the day, TM Samir Thapiyal. He is an ICT professional and working for Tata Communication. He is a superhero having a daughter and a son. When I asked him the same question, he said his dad always encourages him to keep learning and to be self-dependent. TM Samir, the stage is all yours.
Samir, your audio is not working.
You are audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Thank you, TM Modi. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. This is Samir Thapyal, your own parliamentarian for today's session, where I truly believe if somebody wants to come out from the public speaking in the presentation phobia, then TMS is the best platform to overcome from all these obstacles. So, as today's theme is my superhero dad, where I truly believe as a father and a son that dad is the only person who always believe that his children must always be physically as well as mentally strong, which leads to a disciplined life. And that's why we always find dad a very strict and the toughest person in our life. Without taking your much time, I humbly request you all to adhere some code of conduct during the entire sessions, which are first, everyone should keep the audio muted at all times unless there is a need to speak. Second, the phone should be kept in silent throughout the meeting. Third, the video should be turned on at all time during the meeting. Fourth, the member should not indulge in any form of eating while on screen. Fifth, no negative references to caste, race, or class should be made. Sixth, sex, politics, religion. These topics are not taboo. Speakers need to be sensitive if they choose to speak about them. So, as today's topic is about the superhero dad, hence, please keep in mind that our dads are watching today's session and maintain discipline, else dad will scold everybody after the session. So, I will present my final report in the evaluation segment. Back to TMOD.
Thank you, TM Samir. Next up is the R counter, TM Karthik Bhatia. He is a consultant working for Government of India who believes empowerment in the right way to be a leader. When I asked him the superpower of his superhero, he told me his dad is fearless in the face of adversity. TM Karthik, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Zubair, and a good evening to everyone. Since today we're talking about dads, let me deliver a table topic session on that. Daddy, daddy, daddy. So I went downstairs and look who I met. I met Harry, and he gave me some chocolates. Really? Your friend gave you some chocolates? Now, using those repetitions and pauses and all those fillers may seem very cute when you are a child talking to your dad, and your dad may replicate your emotions. But if you choose to do that in real life while delivering a speech, it may tend to take away some value out of your speech. Hence, it is very important that we take care of the fact that we do not use too many filler words by saying, like, so, or making some filler sounds like, you may forget your speech in some places, but forgetting it very often makes you produce these sounds. These are very involuntary, by the way. No one is a very good actor to time these. So take a note of all these filler words, filler sounds, and any short pauses or any long pauses where you sometimes freeze, you're forgetting your speech. All of these things, they tend to take away the value of your speech, and they tend to take away the thunder of your speech. So I'll be making a note of all these filler words and sounds and any of the repetitions that you make. And I'll give you a nice and crisp report during the evaluation section. All right, back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Karthik Bhatia. On that note, I would like to say, everyone, please give a follow and a like on the Central Delhi Toastmaster social media handles. Next up is the joke master TM Sanchit Bhushan. He has done his graduation in law and has keen interest in traveling and connecting people. When I asked him about the superpowers of his superhero, he told me his dad remained calm and composed in every situation. TM Sanchit, the stage is all yours.
Hello everyone. Am I audible to you?
You are audible.
I think there is a network
Yes, you are
problem.
audible.
Hello.
Sanchit, you're audible. Are you able to hear
Hello,
us?
I'm audible to you.
Yes, you're very much audible.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Sanchit Bhushan, and in today's meeting, I'm playing the role of joke master. So here I am with my jokes. Bholu, Pappu. Bholu. Hey Pappu, how is your married life? Not so good, yaar. Why? What happened? You know what's my wife's name? What? I don't know. Her name is Google. What kind of name is that? Wherever I am, she finds me. And the second one is Santa in a courtroom. Judge, order, Santa. 2 pizza with extra cheese, 2 cold drinks with 2 dosas. Judge, shut up, Santa. No, I did not say shut up. I said 7 up. I am paying you right now. And the third one is husband and wife went to a court for divorce. Judge, you have 3 kids. How will you divide them? Husband and wife had a long discussion with each other and decided that, okay, sir, we will come after 1 year with one more. But the joke doesn't end here. After 1 year, they got twins. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanchit. You really made the meeting fun and calm like your superhero. Next segment is the prepared speech segment. Here, the 3 speakers are ready with their speeches. First speaker is TM Shanti Bhavya Paru, if I'm pronouncing it right. She is an electrical engineer who is currently an entrepreneur, and she loves to read books. When I asked her about her superhero, she told me that his dad is very hardworking and disciplined. Before that, I would like to call her evaluator TM Sparshita Verma. TM Sparshita Verma, the stage is all yours.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, our speaker, TM Shanti, is going to deliver her icebreaker speech, which is the first speech given by any member of the club. The purpose of the speech would be to introduce herself to the club members and to learn the basic structure of a public speech. Timer, please note the duration of the speech would be 4 to 6 minutes. And lastly, I wish TM Shanti all the best.
I would request everyone to unmute themselves and put on a huge round of applause for TM Shanti with her topic Wings of Life, TM Shanti.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, and a very good evening to all of you, all of the Toastmasters and the guests as well. Now, when I was in college, I happened to meet a professor of mathematics who had visited my college for some work. He was having lunch at my uncle's place, who was himself a professor in the architecture department, and that's how I got to meet him. Being the introvert that I am, I didn't really talk much with him, but I do remember him recommending a book for me. For those of you who belong to the science and maths background, you must have heard of this book. It is called Gödel, Escher, Bach. It is a pretty classic in science, in maths. And I must be frank to admit that even though I was enthusiastic enough to buy it, I didn't actually get around to reading it. Now, after the man left, my uncle told me about how this person was a brilliant researcher. He had published so many papers in prestigious journals. He was at the peak of his career. But then suddenly at the age of 35 around, he had taken a sabbatical. He had stopped for a while. And my uncle continued that if only he would have continued at the same speed, he would have been very successful by now. You know, maybe a lot of awards, recognitions, and all such. I will talk about this man, this professor, a little while later. Let me talk a bit about myself. I am Shanti Bayavarpu. I notice it's a hard name to pronounce, but Bayavarpu is my surname. So in South, we don't usually refer by the surname. We go with the first name only. So you can call me Shanti. I am an only kid. I am an introvert and an avid reader. And I am pretty ambitious. And as a result, I was a topper in all of my school life. I nailed my board exams. I got into a prestigious state government university, which is Andhra University, and I had pursued electrical engineering. Even in engineering college, I was the topper, and I had bagged 2 offers from 2 of the biggest companies that had come to our placement at that time, which was ITC and L&T. And after a couple of years, I got myself a job in one of the Fortune 500 companies, which is Indian Oil Corporation, through a gate rank. I had cracked an all India rank of 66. And that's where all the trouble started. I was 24 when I quit my stable government job. Much like the maths professor who had taken a sabbatical at the peak of his career. It was a pretty good job, to be frank. It was neither a strenuous, physically strenuous factory job, nor was it a monotonous desk job. It involved looking after the business operations of LPG cylinders, liquefied petroleum gas, of 3 districts. It was challenging. I had a lot of time flexibility. It was a 5-day week, and you even get extra money for the traveling that you do. So it was more than the salary. It was a job profile that was most challenging, and Indian Oil had just started giving it to newly recruited officers. Previously, it was given only to experienced officers. I was doing well. My seniors were happy with my job, but then something was missing. Externally, everything was great. It was going good, but something was missing. I was not happy. I felt like something else was missing in my life. And that's why I had to quit. It's been 3 years now, and these 3 years have been bittersweet to me. My life has transformed in a way that I would never have imagined before. But I'm sure to the outer world, it will not seem like that. I had finally started a blog, and my relationship with my parents has become more meaningful and more enriching. I was able to develop a beautiful relationship with my now husband. I had gotten married a few months ago. I now have a greater understanding of my own self, my mental and physical health. I'm able to take better health of my mental and physical health. I have a better understanding of my future, my purpose, my goals, and my passion. I deem this success more successful than any of the successes that I have ever had before. But the outside world, like I said, they will not see eye to it. Because we are often wired to chase materialistic happiness, maybe because it is more easily seen, more easily tangible. But I believe that once someone starts chasing happiness, materialistic success will come along with it. The professor of maths that I was talking about previously, he got accepted into a postdoctoral fellowship at the age of 50. And guess where? At a university in Sweden. At a time when people usually, they just go slow on their career, or they're even looking for voluntary retirement or such. He, at the age of 50, had changed countries to be at a job which he likes. I believe that he too was chasing happiness. And while everybody external to him, they were oblivious to his personal journey of happiness. He was forging a path, meanwhile, that was filled with happiness, success, and his passion. I am chasing happiness every day, every moment at least of my life. And I believe that every one of us, if we tend to pursue happiness, then the world as a whole will become a little less frustrating, a little less anxious, and a lot more peaceful and a lot more happy. Thank you very much. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
I would ask everyone to unmute themselves and put a huge round of applause for such a wonderful icebreaker, TM Shanti. That was wonderful, and you are really strong in real life too. I would like the members to put up their valuable feedback in the chat box. And next up is the second speaker, TM Shivangi Mittal. She is a commerce student from LSRDU. When I asked her about her superhero, she told me that his dad has a clarity of thought. He thinks and then respond. And she thinks when he will come to Toastmaster, he would have a wonderful table topic session. We wish he should be here. But before that, I would like to call upon her evaluator, TM Pragati Jain. TM Pragati, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the day, TM Zubair. A very good evening to all fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, as a speech evaluator, I'll be evaluating the speech of TM Shivangi, who is a very enthusiastic, friendly, helpful, and always available for you. She'll be delivering Level 1, Project 2, Pathways, Persuasive Influence. The speech objective is to incorporate the feedback given in the previous speech. Time is for 5 to 7 minutes. I wish the speaker all the very best. Thank you, and over to you, TM of the day.
TM Shivangi, Public Speaking 404, TM Shivangi. The stage is all yours.
In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages, both good and bad. No matter where you live, where you work, what kind of media you use, you're exposed to hundreds, if not thousands, of advertisements every day. Researchers estimate that by 2020, the amount of knowledge in the world will double every 73 days. Words have the power to inform, persuade, educate, and even entertain. Spoken words can be more powerful than... Wait. Are you overwhelmed? Don't be, because public speaking is the key. Do you wish to see a sharp change in your personality? Do you want to get ahead of Sharma ji's son? Are you searching for a hack too good to be true? Are you ready to rely on some random tips from the web? Well then, fret not, you are in the right spot. Because today, I have for you a foolproof recipe of 6 steps. 6 steps to transform you into the best public speaker in the universe. So sit back and shut your brains. Here comes Public Speaking 101. Step 1, stand, settle, smile. Step 2, choose a hook to grab attention. It was a bright sunny day. The birds were chirping. The trees were rustling. There blows the lazy loon as I wake up from a nap at 2. Here I am enjoying the perfect Sunday noon in June. Step 3, climax. And then the VP Education asked me to deliver a speech in 2 days. So what do I do? Where do I look for an answer? Where do I turn for inspiration? Google. Step 4, anticlimax. So I Googled speech ideas. 90 speech ideas. Let's take a look. History, geography, sports, technology, philosophy. Way to narrow it down, huh, Google? Let's try something else. Oh, 90 tips from Toastmasters. That's the one. Let's take a look at the first tip. Relax. Helpful. The next tip is to share a startling fact. Okay, Miley Cyrus is Hannah Montana. I'll let you have a moment to let that sink in. Make your audience laugh. Okay, that's going badly. Unless you're hiding your giggles behind switched off cameras. Huh? Anybody? Nobody? Oh no, I didn't forget the next line. Google asked me to take a pause. Ask a thought-provoking question. Okay, Toastmasters, when will the pandemic end? Okay, before you guys start Googling, let me help you save some time. Looks like even Google turned to astrologers for that one. Step 5, the close. Since I started speaking, there have been over 19 million Google searches across the web. Google search has great challenges and great opportunities. And with a little bit of time to go through searches of all kinds, we could agree that Google can't answer everything, right? Step 6, the perfect ending. Close with a quote. All right, the human brain starts working the moment you are born and never stops until you have to give a speech. Well, now that you know the recipe, don't forget to bake some cookies for your ever so helpful buddy, Google. Toastmasters, in all seriousness, stop looking for hacks. Aren't we all guilty of turning to Google for a shortcut? Well, public speaking isn't something that you can learn from a random Google search. It's an art. It's a process. I genuinely admire some Toastmasters who spend an entire month or even more preparing for a single speech, rehearsing and re-rehearsing every time for every single word, every single gesture. And well, here I am looking for a topic 2 days before the speech. Well, the last 2 days have taught me that preparing to deliver a speech isn't nearly as difficult as finding a topic. You see, it's a matter of not just 5 minutes. It's a matter of 5 minutes from every audience member's time. So it's a matter of 22, not just 22 minutes. It's a matter of 22 into 5 minutes 120 minutes for every audience member's time, 2 hours in total. So gotta make sure it's worth that prodigious time. When I was writing my icebreaker speech, I searched through all kinds of keywords on the internet. Tips and tricks and tutorials and hacks, even fell prey to some clickbaits. But this time I thought, what if this lack of inspiration itself is my next inspiration? And then I stopped searching and started contemplating. So, dear Toastmasters, stop searching, start contemplating. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
What a wonderful speech. Yes, guest, she is our president. I would like everyone to put their valuable feedback in the chat box and everyone to please turn on their camera. Next up is our third speaker, TM Devashish Srivastava. He is the president of Toastmaster Club of Dwarka and he loves to read books and travel a lot. Before that, I would like to call his evaluator, TM Ankit Sinha. TM Ankit Sinha, the stage is all yours.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today, Toastmaster Devashish is going to deliver Level 3 Project 2 from Dynamic Leadership Path. Objectives are as follows: to apply his understanding of social media to enhance an established or new social media. And second objective is to share his experience while doing so. So allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to the team mode. Thank you.
Team Devashish
Ankit, sorry, Ankit, it would be a good thing if you could tell the title as well, please. The title of the speech.
Yeah. Title of the speech is Jannat Zubair and her brother are nothing but child laborers in the name of social media presence. It's a long title actually. Should I say it again?
Team Devashish, the stage is all yours.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. That's my model face. Social media is for losers. Building social media presence is for bigger losers. The one who can't do anything starts making videos online. And what is this Instagram fascination with rap? I am going to do it no matter what you say. You keep seeing me, I'm going to slay. I do not care what you have on your mind. If I have decided, then I'm going to play. Is this even music? Is this even composition? And what is this vertical movement on social media? Is this even dance? What happened to old school leg movements, my friends? What does Dhruv Rathi think of himself? Is he modern age Chanakya? And what about Carrie Minati, some abusive punk? And classic case of Jannat Zubair and her little brother. They are nothing but child laborers hired by their own parents in the name of social media influencing. You know, this social media, blah, blah. All of this is nothing but sheer waste of time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Devashish Srivastava. A very good evening. And none of this, what I said, is representative of my thought process. These things are said by those who have actually not been able to create any mark on this infinite platform of virtual creativity, rather virtual platform of creativity. Those who have not been able to create relevance out there on social media. Those who have struggled to be active enough to have some establishment of identity on social media. The jealous ones who curse the creators, and in their solitude, they start consuming what they curse. As of me, I respect all these social media influencers quite a lot. Why? Because even I have a very strong social media presence. On Instagram, I have 161,000 divided by 1,000 followers. On Twitter, I have 40 million divided by 1,000,000 followers. Facebook, well, that does not go with my creativity style. YouTube, yes, I am just signing a contract with Google for my presence on YouTube in my dreams. You can laugh at my 161 followers on Instagram, but you cannot laugh on one thing, and that is right from Carrie Minati to Dhruv Rathi, from Jannat Zubair to Kabi, from Joel Osteen to Narendra Modi. Whomsoever has dominant presence on social media is a perfect example for new age marketers. Why? Because all of them know the art of positioning. What is positioning? I'll give you an example. When I say Oreo, what do you think of? Biscuits? When I say Dhruv Rathi, what do you think of? An observationist who presents statistics? When I say Netflix, movies, web shows? When I say Jannat Zubair, child labor, oh, I'm sorry, a beautiful dancer, an influencer. That is what positioning is. You start creating a position in the mind of your audience. That is what social media is all about. With that, let me ask you one thing. Have you tried being on social media? I never tried it, but this epiphany of positioning came to me when I started helping my vice president PR 3 months back when we took the tenure of this EC tenure started. We started posting in the traditional way. We used to post posters for the upcoming meetings, appreciation posters, posters of group achievements, and these posters are good. They actually create traction on your social media handles. I identify with that. But what we realized is that after 2.5 months of hard work, and we started from the very scratch, we actually created some traction. But we realized that if we keep posting these traditional posters, we will not be able to attract outside followers because we are not offering any value to them. That is when we took this initiative wherein we started posting content, articles, quotes, news items, videos related to leadership development, public communication, personality development, work-life balance, anything or everything that Toastmaster is indicative of, is symbolic of. We have been doing it on Twitter and LinkedIn, and we'll be doing it on other media handles as well. But you know, one funny thing, the third tweet that we posted, it was an article by Shashi Tharoor, and it was liked by Shashi Tharoor, because of which we had 25,000 viewers on Twitter for that particular tweet. Guess what? How many Twitter followers do we have now on our Twitter handle? 26. It's a lot of hard work. It takes consistency. It takes effort. And before I move towards the conclusion of my speech, let me tell you something. The most important thing on social media presence is turning up every day, turning up whenever your audience wants to see you out there, posting consistently. And it's a lot of hard work. It takes discipline. And even more important thing is believing your content, trusting what you post, knowing what you're talking about, and trusting it to the extent that even if it doesn't make sense, you keep posting it. Hashtag Carrie Minati. Hashtag not my view again. Hashtag stop child labor. Hashtag again not my view. At Kabi, hashtag huge creativity. Hashtag my view. At Central Toastmasters, Central Delhi Toastmasters, hashtag thank you for having me over. At Toastmasters Club of Dwarka PR, hashtag persistence required, creativity required, a lot of hard work required, hashtag never ever give up. Thank you.
Hashtag amazing. Hashtag put your feedback in the chat box. Hashtag amazing speech. Next, I would like the tech master to roll the ballots. We have 3 amazing speakers. Hashtag please vote.
The polls are now on everyone's screens. Everyone is requested to vote for the best speaker. We have almost all the votes, requesting all the members and all the guests to vote. And we have all the votes in. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmasters Zubair.
Moms are easy to understand. She will cry when she is emotional, but dads are really tough. He's always analyzing the situation. Superpower, tough, and emotionally strong. Next up is the table topic section. Why I'm looking so excited? Yes, it is the most fun and exciting session of any Toastmaster meeting. For today, to conduct the table topic session, we have DTM Deepak Menon sir. He is a chartered accountant by profession and a superhero. When I asked him, how does a superhero looks like, he said his dad was calm and had unflustered demeanor at all the times. But before that, I would like to play an impromptu session with the table topic master. Can we share the stage, Deepak Menon sir? Okay, sir, now it's your turn. Okay, sir, can you briefly express your feelings when you first became a superhero or a dad as obvious?
Thank you. I became a dad more than 3 decades ago when my elder daughter was born, Rajita. And I do remember that moment when I was handed my little bundle of joy in my hands and I took her in my arms and I held her. And you know the first thing that I noticed about her? She had an abundance of hair, even when she was just a newborn baby. That was the first thing, so much of hair. And I said, my God, what is this? This little baby, she's so cute, but she's got so much hair. And 30 years later, guess what? She continues to have lots and lots of hair on her head. I hope that helps. Toastmasters Zubair.
Let's have an abundance of fun, and let me hand over the stage to the superhero Deepak Menon sir. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, yes, indeed, this is a fun segment. A little while ago, our president, Shivangi Mittal, in her speech, talked about how our brain starts functioning the moment we're born and then stops. You know, it actually does not stop when we're delivering a speech. It stops when we are called upon to speak on table topics. And then that block continues until you're there speaking on table topics. And then when you're finished, that's when the brain starts reworking. Yes, it's happened many times with me. But today's topics are easy. They are not going to cause a brain freeze. They're going to give you a chance to talk about all your memories, especially about your dad, because that's what I've got for you. Topics dealing with your dad. The table topics segment is all about speaking impromptu on a topic that the table topics master gives you. And the purpose is to help you develop the skill of speaking impromptu in whatever situation you might find yourself and become a prodigious speaker. Are you all ready? Yes? I'd like everybody to turn on their videos, please. Guest Sakshi, please put on your video. Zubair, Pragati, Sparshita, Sanchit, everybody, your videos on, please. Wonderful. Now remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes to speak.
1 minute is the minimum time that you need to speak, which means don't run away until you've seen the green signal flashed by the timer. Okay? 1 minute is the minimum time. Now, there have been many songs which have been written about dads. There have been many sayings, quotes, books written about dads, and I've got you a sampler of them. The first time I heard about a dad was in a song by Boney M. Anybody knows Boney M? And that song was, "What about it, Daddy Cool?" So the first topic is Daddy Cool. And to speak on Daddy Cool, I am going to invite Toastmaster Vicky Trebosh, all the way here from California, United States. Let's welcome Vicky on Daddy Cool.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I'm actually from Oregon, which is north of California, but California is well known and the club you visited was in California. My daddy, Mr. Papa, as I called him, because he called me Miss Vicky. And this was a time, this was before most of you were even born, there was someone called Tiny Tim, who was a very odd character, and he got married to a woman named Miss Vicky on the Johnny Carson show. Cultural references, it makes no sense. But from that moment on, my dad started calling me Miss Vicky, and I called him Mr. Papa. Mr. Papa was not cool. He was born in 1923, and he was a large, corpulent man. And he would sit when my friends came over to the house. And because he was so big, he often, when he took off his suit, because he was a salesman, would wear a robe. And I am in my 60s now, but I still have friends from high school, and they say, Vicky, you know, when we come to your house and your father was sitting in that chair, he looked like the Godfather. Now, maybe the Godfather is cool. And maybe in some ways he was prodigious in his appearance. But when I think of cool, I think of a father who is possibly athletic and involved in current affairs. My father was stuck in the past. He was a World War II veteran, and nothing made him happier than talking about the past. Cool, not so much. Powerful in my life, absolutely. I am who I am in many ways because of Mr. Papa. He made me strong, smart, and bold. Those qualities are not cool, but those qualities have allowed me to be a woman with a voice in the world that can change the world. And Mr. Papa, this one's for you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Vicky. That was so powerful, very emotional, very touching. And I believe your daddy, Mr. Papa, was cool. Our next topic today is the older I get, the smarter my father seems to get. The older I get, the smarter my father seems to get. And to speak on this topic, I am going to invite guest Mayuri. Guest Mayuri. And I'm going to repeat the topic for you. The older I get, the smarter my father seems to get. Mayuri, please unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. So it's a topic that really I'm reluctant to talk about my father. I didn't really go along well with my father, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a father or you don't have a father figure, right? So I have a father figure, my brother, and I have grown up with him all along. And he's quite older than me. He's 8 years older than me, and he is been that guide for me and that influence that I wished my father would have been. But no matter what, he was still there with me. He never was a reader. I'm sorry, actually my electricity is off, so you won't be able to see my face. So he was the first one who gave me my book, my first book to read, though he was not a reader. So he thought that I should be the one to be, I couldn't ever read, but my sister would be reading it. And that's what I would like to connect it, that the older I got, the smarter he was. And he always was a smarter person for me to get influenced by smarter things that he never could have. So that's all I would like to share. Thank you.
Excellent, Mayuri. That was wonderful. And that was a great way to tackle table topics because, well, you didn't want to speak about your dad, but you wanted to speak about your brother. And you quickly and very adroitly moved in that direction. So good job there, Mayuri. Well done. Our next topic is, now I heard this song by Sade. It's called Boy Father. And she says, or she sang, your daddy's love comes with a lifetime guarantee. Your daddy's love comes with a lifetime guarantee. And to speak on the topic, your daddy's love comes with a lifetime guarantee, I am going to invite guest Sakshi. Guest Sakshi, please unmute yourself. On the topic, your daddy's love comes with a lifetime guarantee.
Hello everyone, very good evening to one and all present over here. And since this is my first guest lecture with the Toastmaster, I'm very nervous. I don't know what to speak about. I don't know whether I'll be able to relate anything with the topic or not. But talking about my father, I guess he's the one personality in my life with whom I have grown up, who have like motivated me always, and who promised me that no matter what, you do anything, I'm there for you. I have seen a lot of failures in my life, but I have always seen him standing behind me and motivating me, whether it is related to my studies, my job, or anything. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, you're audible. Please go on.
And it is normally being said that you get life partner in your life, but it is always your father who remains with you all your life. So this is what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you very much. That was an excellent effort on your part. It did not seem that you were speaking for the first time at a Toastmasters meeting. Very well done.
Thank you so much.
Our next topic. Betty Midler sang a wonderful song, not necessarily about fathers, but can equally be applied to fathers. And she said, you were the wind beneath my wings. You were the wind beneath my wings. To speak on the wind beneath my wings, I am inviting our immediate past president, Karthik Bhatia. Let's welcome Karthik.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really an honor to be given a topic by a fatherly figure of the club, Toastmaster Deepak Menon, and the topics are coincidentally on fathers as well. If I were to really rewind back to my childhood, I would say I was really scared of dogs. I still am. I wouldn't lie to that. I still am. But one incident that draws back is that when I was trying to cross a road, and my father very, very smartly slowed himself down, and he knew I was running. He knew I was running, and there was a dog, and I was still running, and the dog could chase me up. And he very smartly slowed himself down, and I started to run, and then the dog also started to chase me. And visualize this, dog is chasing me, but he's not frantic about it. He's not worried about it. He's letting the dog chase me, and he's laughing about it. And then few years back when I asked him, and he laughed at, and few years back when I asked him why did that happen, he said, I was seeing if you had the courage to fight that dog off or not. And that is the sort of the reason where I would say he was the wind behind my wings, where he was slowly watching me as to how I was dealing with those problems. And yes, when the dog really went nasty, he actually stopped the dog in his tracks and he protected me. But for years on, this one small incident has made me realize for long that he's actually been the one who's been giving me the wind behind my wings. And now I wouldn't worry just about dogs, but a pack of dogs. And it's come to a point where I often tend to really even befriend few dogs. So that's the transition that has happened. And I give a lot of credit to my father for that. Thank you. Back to the Toastmaster today. Table topics master.
Thank you, Karthik. That was beautiful. That was a great story about dogs and how your father helped you in overcoming that fear. Excellent job. The next topic. Now we've been talking about fathers, and fathers tend to eventually become grandfathers. So my next topic is about a grandfather. And the topic is, a grandfather is someone with silver in his hair and gold in his heart. A grandfather is someone with silver in his hair and gold in his heart. And to speak on this topic, I would like to invite our parliamentarian, Samir Thaplyal.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Menon. So this is my first speech as a TM because last week I joined. So as a father and a son, so I would like to say that father is the most influential person in your life, where generally guys says that father is not doing means not treating like mother, or means always compare with the mother. But yes, father is the only person who always thought from the heart. But once he faced the children, he always seems to be strict and always wants that the children should to overcome from all the obstacles by applying their mind and win mostly all the things in their real life with their real examples and with their lifetime learning from their day-to-day activities. So only one thing I would like to say, my father is the most kind-hearted person, right? But only from the heart. But in the front, he's the most means like an Iron Man. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Samir. Thank you. And you've made your debut as a speaker in the Central Delhi Toastmasters Club. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
And now I come to the last topic for today. The last topic is, great fathers don't find fault. Great fathers find solutions. Great fathers don't find fault. Great fathers find solutions. And to speak on this topic, I welcome our language evaluator today, Madhur Chhabra. Let's welcome Madhur Chhabra.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak Menon. Well, great fathers are someone who are very special. They have knack of learning everything. They have a knack of teaching everything. They are a true gem. It is rightly said, to have success in life, we need three important things: a good father, a good teaching, and a good student. If all these things combine, we can have a success. As asked by TTM, what as asked by TTM, great fathers don't focus on on problems. They focus more on solutions. The thing is that they are people who love to do everything. Great fathers are quite knowledgeable. They know the importance of doing the things in a proper manner. Great fathers also know that the importance of following the path of solutions rather than problems. They are people who know that where the child lacks, where they should improve, and where they can bring immeasurable progress. With this, I would love to conclude, and it is often rightly said that great fathers focus more on solutions and less on problems. Thank you so much, Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Madhur. Thank you for your perspective on fathers and how they focus on solutions. Well done. We've come to the end of table topics, and as I was listening to all our table topic speakers today, I was reflecting back to the time I was a teenager. And I remember my father lecturing me always when I was a teenager about what I couldn't do. And you know, that was about the time when I heard this song by Madonna. And it went, Papa, don't preach. I'm in trouble deep. Papa, don't preach. Of course, I relented later when I had to start preaching to my daughters. Madam, Mr. Zoom Master, whoever's controlling the Zoom link today, can you please launch the poll for the best table topic speaker so that we can vote? The poll is ready for you. Please cast your vote right away. There were 6 speakers today. Please identify who you thought was the best. All 6 were wonderful, but you've got to cast your vote. I have cast mine. Madam President, have all the votes been cast?
Well, it's a tie, but we have all the votes in.
Perfect. With that, I hand you back to our Toastmaster of the day.
What an amazing session by the superhero DTM Deepak Menon sir. Ever felt your dad bit harsh? Let me share a true story with you. Once, a father was taken to an emergency ward and his son was forcing to meet him, but his dad slightly moved his oxygen mask a bit low and shouted, "Get out of this room." And the son was thinking, in this such a critical situation, dad is still shouting on me. What a personality he is. He's always rude. But later, doctors told him that the room was full with swine flu patients, and a patient is the most vulnerable person in such a room. What an amazing personality he is. The superpower, always caring for his family. Next up is the general evaluation segment, where everything would be evaluated just like your father, but not that harsh. For, for the last segment, the general evaluator is TM Ritvik Das. He is an undergraduate student of economics from Ramjas College. He is an civil services aspirant and a poet. When I asked him about his superhero, he told me that his father has the ability to sacrifice. The stage is all yours, TM Ritvik.
Well, I remember that day when I was into chain smoking. Yeah, you heard it right, chain smoking in my school days. And I was not able to come out of it. But given the fact I was very career conscious, I had to cut it off from my life. I was thinking whom to consult. And that day I took this courage to go to my father and confess to him. Because who knows, he might have similar experiences to me. I went to my father. I sat down before him and said, Father, I wanted to say you something. I am fearful but I hope you will help me come out. So he said, okay, what happened? He kept his hand on my shoulders, and trust me, that was a great feeling. Made me comfortable, and then I confessed, Father, I swear. My father, hands on heart, started laughing. I said, what? I thought he will be taking out his belt and beating me, but he didn't. He told me, these things happen in your age. These are the problems in your life which you have to face, if not now in college, in life. Now let's discuss some solutions for it. Don't have a cigarette the next time, or if you have a chain smoking problem, then one by one you have to cut it short. With all these recommendations that my father gave me, today I can proudly say I do not smoke. That's my father did. So maybe he evaluated me, gave me some recommendations to become a better personality in the coming future. Pretty the same job is what I'm gonna do today. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. This is Ritvik Das, today's general evaluator. Today, I am going to evaluate all the happenings of this meeting in this evening, right since 6:15 p.m. to the end of the meeting. And my segment will be divided into three sections. The first section is when I'll be calling the speech evaluators to give their evaluations. Then I'll evaluate them. The second segment being I'll be calling the auxiliary role players to give their evaluations of the reports that they had done on the meeting, and then I'll be evaluating them. And at the end, the whole evaluation of the whole meeting. So let us go and dive part, that is speech evaluations. And with that being said, let me call up on the stage evaluator one, Sparshita Verma. Sparshita, the stage is yours.
Good evening, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and TM Shanti in particular. This was not an icebreaker speech for sure. Our speaker smashed it like a pro. The speaker beautifully structured the speech with a punchy opening and humor sprinkled throughout the speech. The speaker delivered the speech with a strong, clear voice and excellent facial expressions with a smile on her face. The speaker began with a personal anecdote, and being a science student, I got inclined to listen. Secondly, the speaker not only used a significant pitch range, but also gave the impression of a confident and authoritative speaker. But now, what is it that a speaker could enhance and do better in terms of her speech? The first thing I could notice was that though the speaker fulfilled the speech objective to some extent, I would have liked to hear more about her hobbies, her family, what kind of a person she is when alone, and areas of interest, and so many things about her personal self. Secondly, today the speaker needed to refer to notes, sometimes which impacted the effectiveness of delivery. So to improve on this part, the speaker could have practiced more in front of a mirror or could have arranged for some dry runs with the club members so as to learn the speech thoroughly and avoid the notes. Lastly, I love the way the speaker drew out an analogy between the professor and herself. The speaker also used a prodigious number of good words today like sabbatical, nailed, strenuous, tangible, oblivious, posing, and with no filler words at all. To summarize, the structure was well crafted in terms of a clear introduction, body, and conclusion, and humor added something special. If stagecraft is developed and all the recommendations are followed up, then future speeches will be even more effective and enjoyable. I have learned about chasing true happiness today. Did you, Mr. General Evaluator?
Yeah, I also chase the happiness today, given the fact we get this great background from Shanti B. So I guess it really inspired me. Even I also chase happiness. With that, this great inspiring evaluation, the next I would like to call the evaluator to Pragati J. Pragati, the stage is yours. Pragati, you on me. You are on mute. Yeah.
Hello, shall I start?
Yeah, sure.
Hello, I cannot hear actually. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Pragati, you're audible.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and TM Shivangi in particular. What a technological way to conduct your speech. Truly effortless, truly. The speaker today is a role model for others to learn especially about clarity. She was impeccable throughout the speech. She was very clear and the speech was easily understood by everyone. And it also reminded us of our beginner days. I'm sure every Toastmasters must have felt that. Another thing what I liked was the speaker tone, speed. It was perfect. It was actually going with the flow, with the speech. Next, the speaker was looking in the camera and she was maintaining the audience reactions and observations as well. The speaker's gestures and body language went with the content to deliver the excellent speech. The speaker knows the audience very well and she made them understand what she wanted to. The only thing the speaker could incorporate is that little more use of humor in that and could, I think, probably use little more time. She is finished well on time, but I think she can take little liberty to, use 30 seconds more. And to summarize, the purpose of speech was solved with exceptional clarity, vocal variety and eye contact and body gestures. The little use of time or little use of humor, the speech could have been more better. Wishing the speaker the very best for the future speeches and the way journey forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pragati Jain Evaluator too, for that very motivating. I must say the speaker should have got a lot of motivation out of it. Let's now drop to the evaluator, third evaluator, Ankit Jain. And I call on the stage, Ankit Jain. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Friends, it is not easy to deliver a speech on the topic in which you are not very familiar. And that was very clear from our speaker that social media is not his forte. He does not have many followers. He does not tweet so much. He does not have that much presence. But still, I love the way in which he presented all these things. Though he could have said that I do not use social media much, I have very limited presence, but rather he showed us the flip side, an interesting way. So job well done. Next thing what I like that his positioning, that his half body was fully visible, his hands were visible, he was thoroughly confident, his back was straight. Third thing was that how he created a different part. Actually, his speech had two parts. In first part, first 1.5 minutes, he presented that these are certain facts about social media. This is not good, this is waste of time, and all this. I was about to write so many recommendations that what he is saying, you are declaring everything in advance. This should not be done by any speaker. But afterward, he said, these truth, wait. These are not my words. These are general phenomena or some other person's word. So that was job well done. In the first portion and second portion, these were properly divided. Rather, the characters were totally different. Vocal variety, tone, and the body language, especially the rap portion. I wish I could have done that, but I am not that much confident. Next thing was that the topic was very much relatable topic. I could easily relate that the names that he used in his speech, all the familiar names, say it's Shashi Tharoor, say it's Dhruv, and other names. All these names were there. Now move on to certain areas where he can improve. First thing is that the objective of the speech was that to apply understanding of social media on enhancing established platform or create a new one. But I believe that the time that he devoted on this portion was very less. And second part was it that share the experience. This part was also quite less. This thing could have been worked about. Second thing was title. The title was very long. The character was used 3-4 times. But what was the actual relevance of the thing? So that was not very clear to me. Second thing is, third thing is that so many characters. I believe there were so many characters. If we are incorporating anything, there should be some meaning behind this thing. So because we have 5 to 7 minutes, so limited time, this thing should have been worked out well. All in all, I can say the good part was that summarization. The speaker did a very good summarization. He presented everything in 2-3 words, and I have found the real takeaways: the positioning, activity, and always remain active and out of the box ideas as well. So that's all from my side. Over to general evaluation.
Thank you for the evaluation. It was a set of great evaluations we have got. Now it's time for exercising our democratic right. So the Tech Master, please release the ballots.
Those are now on everyone's screens. We had 3 evaluators today. Our debutant evaluators, Toastmasters Parshita and Toastmaster Pragati, and Toastmaster Ankit Sinha. Let's vote for the best evaluator. And we have all the votes in. Thank you.
Okay, so I must say every evaluator have followed the CRC approach. Congratulations collectively to all the evaluators out there. Now let me go individually to everyone and evaluate them. First comes evaluator 1, Sparshita. Greatly introduced the speaker, very motivating. Given the fact she was giving an icebreaker speech, she had to be motivated and done a great job. She inspired the speaker, gave solutions. That is the best part. But in the recommendations, which I think is that she could have done a bit of acting in which she would have showed that if this was done in this way, the speaker could have improved. So an acting example of that could have been better. Now let's come to the evaluator 2, Pragati. She also greatly introduced the speaker. She gave tenets on humor, voice clarity, voice modulation, gave her recommendations clearly following the CRC approach as already mentioned. But again, the same recommendation as I gave for the first evaluator, acting could have been incorporated to show how they could have improved their speeches. The next evaluator was Mr. Ankit Jain, and I must say he went on giving some examples while he was commenting on the speaker. It was great. He really introduced recommendations were also superb, but again, maybe you would have acted it, but because you had acted in the comment section, so commendation section, so maybe that will won't be a big problem. So it was a great evaluation for all of you out there. With that being said, let me now move forward with my battalion of auxiliary role players coming forward to give their reports. First, I would call Timer Samkit Jain. The stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So my reports are as follows. Just a second. So first of all the auxiliary role players took less than 2 minutes. Then the prepared speakers, Toastmaster Shanti took 6 minutes 12 seconds. Toastmaster Shivangi took 6 minutes 35 seconds. Toastmaster Devashish took 7 minutes 20 seconds. Then coming on the table topic speakers, Toastmaster Victoria took 1 minute 53 seconds. Guest Mayuri took 1 minute 28 seconds. Guest Sakshi took 1 minute 4 seconds. Toastmaster Karthik took 2 minutes 7 seconds. Toastmaster Sameer took 1 minute 38 seconds. And Toastmaster Madhur took 1 minute 28 seconds. Then coming to the 3 evaluators, Toastmaster Sparshita took 2 minutes 11 seconds. Toastmaster Pragriti took 1 minute 58 seconds. Toastmaster Ankit took 3 minutes 22 seconds. So that was my report. Thank you. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Timer Samkit Jain, for that holistic and comprehensive report. It was superb. Now let's go forward with the listener. With the accountant. Sorry, apologies, accountant Karthik. So it's your stage now. Please come on.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for handing over the stage. Today I had a bit of a tough time seeing that we had a good variety of rappers in the house today. First, Toastmaster Shivangi with her monologue, and it was very hard to find. And it was Toastmaster Devashish trying to actually enact a rap. And these are nightmares for an R counter to find out any faults because they're acing it. But still, I managed to find some. Coming down to the auxiliary role players, Toastmaster Samkit Jain in his introduction of the role took 2 short pauses. Toastmaster Kashish Jain seemed to deliver the introduction impromptu, much like me. He had 5 filler sounds and 1 short pause, and I could find 1 repetition as well, and the filler sound being used too often. Then Toastmaster Samir as parliamentarian, the debutant auxiliary role player, he had 2 short pauses while he was delivering his introduction. Then let's get to the speakers, the prepared speakers. Toastmaster Shanti had being said 3 times. Then there were 2 R's that I could catch, and there was 1 short pause. Then Toastmaster Shivangi as a speaker had just 1 short pause, otherwise she was just flawless. As far Toastmaster Devashish is concerned, again, very flawless, except that I could catch 1 so, where he sort of shuffled the word and used so there. Then there was 1 long pause that had happened because of the jumbling of the words, and that's very natural, no issues. Then let's talk a bit about the table topics. Guest Mayuri said so 3 times, then short pauses 1 time. To all the guests who are doing it for the first time, don't take these numbers to the heart. You can consider me a devil for tonight. That's all right with you. You delivering a table topic, you speaking on a table topics is much more relevant than my report here for you today. But still, it's my job, so I caught a few. Guest Sakshi used 2 filler sounds, mostly Then I, as table topic speaker, had 2 short pauses. I also didn't really narrate a good story there. Then guest Samir, he said but 5 times. Again, a first-time speaker. Don't take these numbers to heart. Then there are a few filler sounds as well, like was said too often. Toastmaster Madhur said in a proper manner twice. So that was 1 repetition. Then as GE, I could just pick up a few short pauses until now. Then let's come to the evaluators. Now, the Toastmaster Pragati used so 2 times while delivering an evaluation. Now let's talk. I'm going to mention the names of the people who aced it. Now, whichever role they did, they aced it. That was Toastmaster Victoria, couldn't find a fault. Toastmaster Sparshita and Toastmaster Ankit. 100 on 100 to all of you. Couldn't find any single fault in your speeches. Thank you. That's it from my end. Back to the general evaluator.
But I must say you have a great attention to details, and congratulations to those flawless speakers. Please continue with it, and ones who are having some flaws, go and have that rectification of that. So with that being said, let's call the next auxiliary role player, the language evaluator, Madhur Chabra. So please come on the stage. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Ritvik. So as the language evaluator, I have noted the correct usage of grammar, and I've also noted the good usages. So the first was used by Toastmaster Shanti, peak of his career and chasing happiness. Second was by Toastmaster Shivangi, constantly bombarded with messages. And second was stop searching, start contemplating. The third was by the third speaker, Devashish Srivastav, and what he used was art of positioning. So I found these 3 speakers, these 3 phrases to be very good. Now the word of the day was used by Toastmaster Deepak Menon and Toastmaster Sparshita. There was also there was someone who also used, but I'm really sorry I couldn't note the name. So this was all from my side. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you for that comprehensive report. Now, let's move forward with the parliamentarian of today's meeting. Let's see what he has in store for us. So, the stage is yours, Parliamentarian Samir Thaplia.
Yeah, thank you. So, my feedback is mostly it was a very interactive session, and nobody has unmuted themselves, but mostly videos were on the shutdown mode, so which is I think is not encouraging, and the total number members which were attending the sessions, I think around 20 members. Out of 20, 10 members videos were shut down, and which has a negative impact on the speaker, because means they are unable to have eye contact with the listeners. So I think in future we should keep our cameras on, and that's all from my side. Back to TM Modi.
So thank you, Parliamentarian Samir, for the report. And I must say, for the ones who are not opening the videos, please do it right now, so as to show that you have started rectifying yourself. Now let's go to the listener to check whether we were listening during the meeting or not. So, listener, Kashish Jain, the take of the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ritvik, for calling me up on the stage. Hey guys, are you ready for the listening session? I'm here with my questions ready. So, question number 1. Yes, it is. What was the nickname of speaker number 1, Toastmaster Shanti? Raise your hands either virtually or physically. Anyone out there? I'm not able to see any hand. Okay, Toastmaster Karthik, I would like to call you up on the stage.
I am not really sure if there was a nickname reference to it, but Toastmaster Shanti, we certainly said she is called by her first name Shanti. Is that right?
Okay.
So you can answer.
Yeah. It is Shalu.
Oh, that was Shalu. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Coming up next with my another question. Stop searching. Start. Fill in the blanks. Toastmaster Shivangi Mittal used it. I'm finding Toastmaster Deepak Menon sir.
Start
Okay, now I would like to call up Toastmaster Samkit.
Start contemplating.
Contemplating. I would request to not answer on the chat because I'll call you up by a turn. Just raise your hands. Okay. Question number 3. How many followers speaker number 3, Toastmaster Devashish Srivastava had? Okay, I would like to call up guest Victoria.
Not enough.
Not enough. I want an actual number. Exact. Okay, I am finding Toastmaster Karthik. Anyone else? Toastmaster Madhur. Please come up.
166, if I'm not wrong.
You are approximately right. I am finding guest Sakshi. Come up.
It is 161, I guess. 161.
Yes. You are exactly right. Well done, kudos. Question number 4. What does FTM Victoria called her father? By what name did she call her father? Okay, and Toastmaster Deepak Menon sir.
Godfather.
Yes, you're absolutely right. My last question. What is more difficult in preparing a speech according to Toastmaster Shivangi, the speaker number 2? It seems that... Okay, I would like to call up on the stage Karthik Bhatia.
Choosing a title for the speech.
Yes, absolutely right. It was a very good session. All the questions were answered accurately except one, and it was very good session. Okay, thank you, and over to you to the general evaluator.
Thank you, my battalion of auxiliary role players, for the great evaluation of the reports. I must say you've done a great job. Now let's see what audience I have for you. So the tech master is requested to release the ballots.
The polls are now on everyone's screens. We had 6 auxiliary role players: our timer Toastmaster Samkit, language evaluator Toastmaster Madhur, our counter Toastmaster Karthik, parliamentarian Toastmaster Samir, listener Toastmaster Kashish, and joke master Toastmaster Samkit. Please vote for who you think is the best auxiliary role player. And we have all the votes in. Thank you.
So I must say it was a great evaluation process by this auxiliary role players, but I'll be coming with my evaluation one by one. First, let's come to the timer Samkit Jain. He had introduced his topic, making it relevant to the theme, which was really commendable. Kudos to you that on that particular part. He showed the cards, which is again commendable. If you ask me for some of your recommendations that I have for you, is your voice modulation was a bit monotonous. So you can work on that. You can work on that voice rhythm. Now let's come to the language evaluator Madhur Chabra. So he had introduced the words and all of that roles that were relevant to his role were great, and he had put it in the chat box, but he didn't give any intro related to the theme. So I would want him to give introductions of while he is giving his role playing with the relating to it the theme of the day. So that's my recommendation for you. Now let's go to the accounter Karthik Bhatia. Great intro. The way he worked on his acting, great, superb. It was really very interesting. It was related to the theme. Described the role superbly. But you can share the screen while you're presenting your report. So that can be a recommendation for you. Other than that, it was superb. Now let's go to the parliamentarian Samir. The theme was that the introduction he gave was related to the theme, nicely described. It was obvious actually that you were reading from somewhere. So maybe you can work upon not to show that so explicitly, maybe somewhat working professionally on it so that no one is able to understand it. And maybe you can also work on your filler words and filler phrases as correctly pointed out by the accountant. Now let's go forward to the listener, Ashish Jain. He had an energy, he applauded, he inspired the speakers, the ones who were prospective answerers. And I must say his questions were very relevant, and he actually checked our listening skills, to be very honest. All that being said, maybe a sort of monotony was there with your voice modulation. Maybe you can work on that. Then that's the only recommendation I have for you. Now let's move forward with the joke master Sanchit Bhushan. He had a great jokes, well presented, to be very honest. But one cherry on the top would have been if you would have stood up and gave the sort of acting. If you would have stood up and then maybe acted as your father and all that, then it would have been really great. And your pronunciation, it was Santa, not Santa. So you can work on that. Now, all that being said, I believe I have already finished my second segment. Now let's move forward with the third segment of evaluating the whole meeting. And I must say, the meeting started on time at 7:15 a.m. p.m. And then came the SAA with his great energy. He nicely described the mission, well introduced the president, but there were some unusual pauses and rhythms which he can work on, and I'm pretty sure he will be doing that. Then came the president with a superb presidential address, very inspiring, very motivating. But maybe a more use of hands could have been better. But I must say the way she introduced us guests, and obviously our honorable guest, Mrs. Victoria, it was superb. It was very inclusive, and the way she did it was superb. So kudos to you on that role, President Shivan. Now let's come to the team out. Love the team, to be very honest. It's very emotional, very close to my heart, personally speaking. I love the way of appreciation you were always into when you were introducing the speakers and all that. And I remember one of these times when you had presented a great presence of mind by telling hashtag amazing, hashtag feedback on the chat box while you were applauding the speaker, third speaker. So this presence of mind really is commendable, and I must say you have really worked on that. But there were at times I found there was less energy. For example, you could have said, and guess what? The speakers can speak in the table topics section. So a sort of energy could have actually ameliorated your speech, your role, sorry. Now let's go to the table topics section, and as always, the father figure of our club was superb as always with his segment. Even I am also a great fan of Bonnie M, Daddy, Daddy Cool. And I must say it was great. It was superb, greatly introduced. The way he introduced the role, the timings, very informally, inspired the guests to come up, and it was very inclusive. So I feel I do not have any recommendations for him, to be very honest. Now, I have some evaluation for the speakers. The first speaker was Victoria, greatly said, very emotional, very much influential, I must say, and it was a superb speech. I don't have any recommendations for you. And next, that was guest Mayuri. Loved the presence of mind, the way she transformed from father to brother, and she explained and did justice to the topic. So it was great. It was superb. But you may work on stop looking sideways when you're giving a speech. So if you work on that, it would have been a superb speech. Now let's come to guest Sakshi. She had to have more energy and confidence. Otherwise, it was well said, given the fact it was your first experience in Toastmaster. It was really a good speech. Then I must say, Mr. Karthik was great at giving a speech while he was acting and making it fun, making it humorous. And without being said, I don't have any recommendations for you. Next, we go forward to PM Sameer. Maybe a more confidence would have been better. By the way, you greatly introduced and greatly talked on the topics. The same goes for Madhur. She would have also worked on your energy levels, on your confidence levels. Otherwise, it was a very informative speech, very good speech. With all that being said, I believe the whole meeting ran pretty well. Now, to judge myself, maybe I used certain short pauses. Maybe it seemed that I was unable to draw a sort of continuation of my evaluation process, sometimes becoming using a lot of short pauses to make it look a bit boring. But I believe I've worked on my energy levels, or so that's something I would recommend myself to work upon, not keeping up the monotony, rather to make it very superfluous. And that's all from my side. And with all that being said, I must say, today's meeting was really superb. Even my evaluation segment is the bedrock of Toastmasters, because until you know the mistakes you have committed, how can you even think of going ahead and creating a change in it? I remember those days when my father used to come after the results were out. I was very scared. What would happen if my father beats me? But suddenly he comes up with my results, scolds me, obviously he scolds me, but he again tells me this is the way I should work, this is how I should divide the work, and some recommendations, and I used to go on improving my results, and that's how my father worked out on me. So with that being said, creating a relevant connection with the team and telling you how important evaluation process for all of us, I sign off. General Evaluator Ritin Darshan is over to the team. Thank you very much.
How to conclude such a theme and such a person? He is amazing, he is wonderful, he is the smartest, but also he's a superhero. But my dad is a liar. He lied to me that he never get tired. He lied to me that he didn't like that food. I can have more of it. He lied to me that we can have everything in this world. He lied about his happiness. He lied because of me. I love you, Dad. Back to the president of the club.
Thank you, Toastmasters Bear, for that loving theme of the day. Well, now it's time to vote for the best role play. The polls are now on everyone's screens. Was it our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Zubair? Was it our general evaluator, Toastmaster Ritvik? Or was it our prodigious Table Topics Master Deepak Menon sir. Please vote for the best role player. All right, we have all the votes in. Thank you. So let's look at the results. First, coming to the best speaker. Any guesses who could be the best speaker?
Toastmaster Shivangi Mittal.
Thank you. Well, thank you for saying that. And yes, you are right. And thank you everyone for voting for me. The next is the best evaluator. So who do you think is the best evaluator today? Any guesses? Toastmaster Sparshita, Toastmaster Pragati, or Toastmaster Ankit?
Toastmaster Ankit.
Toastmaster Sparshita.
All right, I agree with Toastmaster Ankit. It is Toastmaster Sparshita. Congratulations on being the best evaluator in a debut evaluation. Let's move to the best auxiliary role player. We had 6 auxiliary role players today. Any guesses? All right.
Listener.
Okay, 1 vote for the listener. Well, actually, the winner today is our counter, Toastmaster Kartik Bhatia. And now coming to the best table topic speaker. It was a tie, but since I didn't get to vote, I will cast the tie-breaking vote. And the winner will be our fellow Toastmaster Victoria Trebosh. Congratulations. And finally, coming to the grand prize, the best role player. Do we need to guess?
No.
No, we don't. It is our table topics master, Deepak Menon sir. Congratulations to all the winners. And now, well, that brings us to the end of the meeting. Can I please invite our guest, Toastmaster Victoria Trebosh, to share her experience, her thoughts with us?
Thank you, Madam President. To say that I learned a prodigious amount of ideas from this meeting would be an understatement. As I'm a member of 3 clubs, one in California, one in Ireland, and our own Masters of Evaluation we've started. This club is well run. When Deepak came and spoke at our meeting, I wanted to return the favor and come to yours, and what a gift it has been. I have learned ideas. I have seen wonderful speakers. As I told the general evaluator, that is one, if not the best general evaluation I have ever heard. And as Masters of Evaluation, that's what we look for. Unconditionally constructive, where you strengthen the speaker, not your relationship. And I just believe he did that over and over again. Thank you so much. I wish you continued success. If I could join a 4th club, you would be it. But I have, at this age and what I'm doing in my life, I will say no, but I will always enjoy a visit, because what a wonderful way to start my day, Madam President.
Thank you for sharing that, Toastmaster Victoria, and we would love to see you again and again in our club. Well, now I would like to share with you all that the schedule for our upcoming speech evaluation contest is that it is scheduled for 26th October. So all the members are encouraged to give their nominations to our VP Education, Toastmaster Simran, and participate in the contest. And for all the new members in the club who want to know more about the contest, our division is conducting a mock evaluation contest, and I will share more details with you. So I would encourage everyone to find your best evaluation and get ready for the competition. And on that note, can I please request everyone to kindly switch on their cameras for a group picture? You can make some poses, a smile, some pose. Can someone suggest a new pose for today? All right, we'll go with this. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. All right, so that brings us to the end. Thank you everyone for joining. See you all next Tuesday. The guests are requested to stay for the guest briefing.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. Thank you, Victoria, for joining. Thank you. You have a wonderful day, Vicky.